Hello, hello. Welcome to my live Q&A about manifestation slash the law of assumption. If you are new, welcome. The way it works is that you are going to drop your questions as comment, and I will answer them. And I can see there are already comments and questions. And welcome, everyone. I am so happy that you are here with me. And let's just get started. I don't have a specific topic for these Q&As. It's just manifestation. Any question that you might have about manifestation in general or your specific process. So let's get started. And if you have questions, drop them in the comments. Hi, Anna. It's Shauna here. Hi, Shauna. I wrote up like a 4-part message last night to be prepared, but I don't see them showing up. Please let me know if you see them on your end. I can see other comments after this. I don't know if you have written them now or if it's the old ones, but I'm just going to read them one by one and answer your questions. Let's see. First part, after our session, I was affirming for SP and then felt shame for trying to manifest him after all these years. How do I get rid of the shame? I thought with my anxiety and felt shame. My first question is, why are you judging yourself? You have this feeling, which is shame for some reason. That's okay. I would say, what is the shame about? Because there's nothing shameful to have desires, and you desire an SP, you're manifesting him. That's your right as a conscious manifester. Your next question, if we are affirming for things we want, SP, money, better friendships, does that keep us stuck in the identity of trying or effortlessly trying, etc.? No, unless you do it from the state of trying. You can feel the difference when you are manifesting, whatever technique you're doing. Let's say you're affirming. If the affirmation feels like I need to do this to have it because I don't have it, then that's your state. So that keeps you in that identity. But the reason we do these affirmations and the visualizations is to change the identity. So when you are affirming that you are with your SP, the point of that is to change your identity, otherwise known as your feeling state, your state of being, and your desired end goal, etc. You practice that as you're practicing your affirmations. With practice, you change and you become that person. So no, it doesn't keep you in that loop unless you are constantly in that state while doing your affirmations. So pay attention to how it feels when you are doing your affirmations or other techniques. And your last question, that deep loneliness I mentioned to you creates anxiety. And I think it's because I feel shameful that I'm alone on the weekends at night, and then I feel stupid for trying to manifest an SP. Why though? Because if you are lonely, it is very natural that from that state, you desire connection. That is very natural. Neville Goddard, for all you who know his work, he says, for example, if you're hungry, of course you are going to desire food. If you are in jail, of course you are going to desire freedom. That's normal. Please, step 1, don't judge your desires. You want your SP, you want the connection, and that's yours. In perfect manifestation terms, it's already yours. You now need to practice having it. So use self-talk and say things like this to yourself. Why do I feel shameful for wanting something? Who doesn't want things? And I genuinely don't know exactly what to say here, because it's your right to want connection, love your person, etc. And it is your right to manifest this person because he is you pushed out. You can't not manifest him. The situation you are in currently is also a manifestation. So you either manifest this or you manifest the other thing, whatever it is. In your case, it's connection. It could be something completely different. So I hope this was helpful. Next question. Hi, Anna. What do you think of listening to affirmations on loop recorded in your own voice? Thank you. It's good. I have done it myself in periods. I use this method mostly when I'm manifesting something completely new and I'm just not used to the idea of that thing or of having it, or it's something completely different than what I'm used to thinking of that situation, just to get used to the affirmations. Because in the beginning it can feel like very random, very, you know, you may have problems focusing. This method is good to get yourself used to that story. This is not something that I find necessary. It's just that extra thing that you can do. I have done this. Every time I have done it, it has been like the first 2-3 days until I got used to the affirmations, and then I prefer thinking the affirmation. Make yourself mind work. So yeah, use it. There's nothing bad about it, but I don't rely only on that. Use your own mind. I mean, it's still your own mind, right? You're still listening to it. And also, when you do this, for everyone who wants to listen to their recordings, when you do that, make sure that you actually listen to the affirmations, because your mind can wander. This is where you become lazy. It just plays and you're somewhere else. Listen. Oh, hi, Ritma. I told myself for one whole day that today my best life begins, and didn't jump between affirmations because it felt all encompassing. 3 days later, I woke up with bug bites all over my body, and where's the rest of this? Decided to quit my job and my apartment and parking lease and move to another city, all in about an hour. This impulse felt very much driven by my one day dedication to one affirmation, and suddenly I see how ridiculously afraid I've been to make decisions. Love your energy and always watch your genius videos back to back. Thank you so much. And, you know, anyone who has watched my videos about not taking action, this is what I'm talking about. Even though you can, like, not even though some manifestations require you to take that action, but that is never something that you need to figure out, because you feel like you're guided, you do it, even though, again, this has happened to me with several manifestations where I just felt like I needed to do something and it felt so natural in the moment, and I just did it. And the moment passed, it's like I snapped out of that state and I realized this is usually not something that I would do, just like you here, but it felt so natural in the moment and it keeps feeling like the right thing. So very exciting. I love that you have this type of manifestation is a good example of how manifestation should be. Not that everyone needs to affirm that one thing, but the fact that you decide to focus on one thing and you just keep your focus on that, something needs to happen for that to become true. So very exciting for you. Hello, Anna. I want to grow 35 centimeters taller in a week. Why in a week? I also want to have the unique voice I desire in a week. Is it all possible? Like, manifestation is not about time. I mean, you can manifest in a time crunch. That's definitely possible, and I have done that. Not just this, for anyone who is manifesting an SP, self concept, money, whatever you're manifesting, your manifestation process needs to be a story that is happening now. That is the quickest way to manifest. So, but you can impress on your subconscious mind with your focus, with your affirmations that it's happening in a week. So, yeah. Yes, it's helpful. Thank you. You're welcome, Shana. Hi, Anna. I'm losing hope in manifesting my SP because it's hard to see her as my creation and not someone who has free will. I only see time passing. Also, when I affirm for her, I get upset or sad. This change in perspective from seeing someone as someone with free will and separate from you to someone who is you pushed out needs to be trained. This is a belief, and we have all gone through this. All conscious manifestors who discovered manifestation later in life, we have all learned that every other person has their free will, and then it flips. Nobody has free will, and they are all our us pushed out, our assumptions pushed out. You need to tell yourself that story that she is you pushed out in order to get used to it. That's one thing. Another thing is you can track her behaviors back to your beliefs. And I'm sure most of it is your self concept and beliefs that are even older than your connection with her. So, if your focus is constantly on what she's doing, what she's not doing, how she's not the way you like her or want her to be, then that's going to keep manifesting and it's going to keep you frustrated. I know it's tricky and challenging, but whenever your focus goes outwards on the person, on the thing, on the 3D in general, the lack of your manifestation, you need to realize you're doing that and bring your attention inwards and practice that story because you get used to the story. The point of doing affirmations or other manifestation techniques is to get yourself used to that story. Or I mean, the main point that a lot of things happen, but if you understand that simple thing that if my mind hasn't changed, there's no way she can change. Then what I need to do is to practice this new story that I want to experience with her until I get used to it. The first person who needs to change and get used to that story is you. Hello, Anna. Hi, Richie. Hope all is well. All is well. Thank you. I hope all is well with you. I am so close to finishing the Thomas Short collection of works. Are you kidding? The whole collection? I have it right here. I am currently reading the Dore lectures. Dore lectures? I don't know. I'm not sure how that's pronounced. Yes, this one. Yeah. You can see I've been doing my homework. Very interesting, very deep, very slow to read, to be honest. Good job if you're finishing that whole thing already. So very, very interesting. And his work is very in sync with Neville Goddard, even though he is a little bit older than Neville, but it's very much the same principles, the same philosophy, the same idea about the mind being the infinite intelligent God, us being the creator, etc. Good job. Hello, Anna. Could you please talk about if we can manifest the big desire in time crunch and how to do it? How many times of affirmations do we need to do? Yes, you can. Definitely. The the way you do it is to go full in and not let your mind convince you otherwise, because it will try. So negative story will come up, the opposing story will come up, that this hasn't happened, you don't have it, etc. It's too big. You know the story. You need to persist in the assumption of already having it, that this is already true now. Whenever I have manifested anything in a time crunch or in a very little time, it has been the times where I have gone full in, no, not letting myself think anything negative. Whenever the negative stuff pops up, like you kill it with your affirmations. And yes, it is absolutely possible, because we in our human forms are the ones seeing stuff as big and small. For your mind, it's all the same. So the only person you need to convince is yourself. So and it's not about how many times of affirmations you need to do. It's you need to live as if in your mind, in your mind, you need to already be that person who has your desire, and stay there. And if you can't stay there, come back to it often, as much as you remember to do. I've got that book. Oh, so many people are reading Thomas Troward. I haven't been talking so much about him in my videos because I have only read 2 books. I mean, I'm reading the second now. I need to get to know his text a little bit better before I can speak about Troward's work. But I can say already now that he's very much, again, in sync with Neville Goddard, Joseph Murphy. The teaching is the same. The language is a bit different, but you get used to it. Otherwise, it's wonderful work. Last night, I finished the segment called The Law and the Word. It says something, I don't remember if I have read that. But yeah, I'll get to that. Who else is reading Thomas Troward? Have you guys read Genevieve Berendt, who was his student? She contacted him to become his student. He rejected her. But she had then, I think, before or after her contact, she had read a couple of her books, and she used his method to manifest him accepting as his student, which he ended up doing. And she has been his only student. And she has 3 books, again, very much in sync with Troward himself, Neville. Much easier to read, though. He is very in sync, yes, but I really like Goddard's explanation more about free will quantum. I don't know what Thomas Troward says about that yet, but yeah, no one beats Goddard. I have to agree. Whenever in doubt, go to Neville Goddard. He has, first of all, he has so many texts, many books, and many lectures, and it includes almost everything you need to know about manifestation. So but it is nice to know that so many other teachers have taught the same thing, and you learn about the same thing with different words, and it's very fascinating. Well, about free will, Neville Goddard manifested his second wife. It was a specific person while he was married to his first wife, and his wife didn't want to divorce him. He manifested it. Then things happened, 3D stuff happened, and he ended up divorcing, getting his divorce, and marrying his second wife. For anyone who is interested in manifesting SP and what Neville might say about that, and free will, etc. Let me know if you have questions about what I have been talking about so far. If you have extra questions about your story or your situations, just drop in the comments. Or anything interesting that you have manifested. I manifested that plant recently that you can see there. It's a rubber plant. It becomes this huge plant with big leaves. And my first thought several months ago was, okay, where do I buy it? I want the plant, so where do I buy it? And then I thought, let me manifest it for free because it's fun. So I started affirming just here and there that I received a rubber plant for free. That was literally my affirmation, really just here and there. This isn't an important manifestation, so it wasn't in my mind. What happened was that someone I know bought the plant and gave me a cutting with the roots and everything. So now I have the plant. And then I thought, had I known anyone who had the plant prior, I would have just asked for the cutting. But because I was affirming, someone had to go out and buy the plant and give me the cutting so that my manifestation would go from point A to point B. This is the stuff that happens when you don't contradict your affirmations. And big, small, it doesn't matter. All manifestations happen the same way. Hi, Anna. I have a situation with a friend where she was doing and saying unfavorable things to me that I just vented about to another friend. It turned to gossip. How would you revise? You either imagine that some other things had been said and you imagine that over and over until your mind transforms, and that's like the classical Neville Goddard way of revising things. Or you can affirm that this thing worked out in everyone's favor or something similar to that. So yeah, either you imagine something different happened, or you can affirm that that's not what we talked about. We talked about nice things, or whatever you want to have talked about, you affirm that specifically. Or you just affirm that this situation sorted itself out somehow, or worked out in everyone's favor. I also have gotten into scripting a bit more. It really is easy to get into a mind space when writing, but I don't find myself repeating the same affirmations over and over. I just keep writing about SP, this and that. Is there a wrong way to script? I don't think so. Scripting really forces you to focus. That's how I use scripting. It has become sort of an extra thing for me, where like if I have days or moments when I can't focus or I'm in a negative space, sitting down and writing forces you to focus on your manifestations. I don't think I have ever sat down and written the same affirmation over and over. But what happens when I script, I do exactly like you do. And next time I repeat, it sort of becomes the same affirmations as I scripted the day before, because it's all the same things that I want still. So in that way, I repeat the affirmations, but I mean, unless your mind is focused on things you don't want, I don't think there's a wrong way to script, to be honest. You are amazing. Hi, Linka. Thank you. I have Neville's book called The Complete Reader. Do you know if this is all he wrote? It's only one book and it seems small. The Complete Reader, is it that blue one or the beige one? I also have a Neville collection. He has written 10 books, one of which I don't remember which one it is his stuff, but someone else has put it together in a book. So all, 10 books and a million lectures. I don't know, I think maybe 200 or 300 lectures. But the collection, the book collection, only includes the books, not the lectures. So I don't know if it's the blue one you have or the beige one, but it should be the same. Not all his books are that big, so you put all 10 books together, it's this thick, more or less. Here, can you see how thick this is? This is Troward, this is not Neville, but the other book is more or less the same thickness. And this is 6 books. This is also, or 2 books, the rest are lectures, probably. Do we need to affirm 24/7, and can we manifest our family members live long? You don't need to affirm 24/7 at all, unless the topic is on your mind 24/7. If it's naturally on your mind, you're in this obsessive state, I would rather have you affirm 24/7 than have negative thoughts 24/7. What will happen is that you will start getting used to your affirmations and your new story, and from the state of already having it. And that will make you think of the topic less. But if you think you need to affirm 24/7 in order to manifest, no. Not necessary. Unless you enjoy it, it puts you in a good state, then go for it, but not a necessity. And can we manifest our family members live long? Yeah, absolutely. You can affirm that. A lot of people are now involved and picking sides. It's getting ugly. Oh, this is the gossip story. I thought, who people? Too much gossip. I don't know where to go back and revise. Do I revise gossip or every situation that caused me to be upset? In this case, I would affirm that this situation has resolved in everyone's favor. This got sorted out in the best way possible. I'm so grateful how this turned out. Affirm general stuff like that, where you don't have to go and figure out the details. Let me see if I have missed any questions so far. I probably have not. I want to recreate my parents' relationship into very loving, caring, respectful. Your parents are you pushed out. This is manifestations like this work the same way you manifest an SP. You either imagine or affirm that they do have this kind of relationship and it's so beautiful to see and blah, blah, blah. You quote unquote make up the story and you keep repeating it. Anna, my OG SP came back seeming like he was the version I want. In short, he mentions a third party and spending time with them. This time, my self-concept is better than the other times, but for him to return like this is sad. Don't react. You're doing a great job. Don't react. And don't dwell on it, because your manifestation can go through transformations until the whole thing happens. Until the whole thing happens, your manifestation is not done. So this is a middle situation. And I know while you're in the middle of it, it sucks. I know. But your job is to either revise it, like that's not what he said. Like there's no third party, he chose you, or however you want to turn that story, or you stay in the end. This doesn't mean your manifestation is not coming or went wrong or anything like that. This is just a middle situation, bump in the road. How can I cure someone's cancer last stage when doctor says there is no hope or life left? I am really sorry that you and your loved one are going through this, but your doctor doesn't know everything. When science is limited, I have to say, and not everybody likes to hear this, but it is what it is. They're getting there, but first of all, everyone is us pushed out, including the doctor, and everyone is going to reflect back to us our fears, assumptions about the situation, etc. The doctor says that, fine. You leave it to the doctor, you go inside and you affirm or imagine that person to be completely healthy. Or if that creates too much resistance, then at least healing. Revise what the doctor said. Guys, when we are manifesting through something that has nothing to do with this physical reality. The physical reality obeys your mind, it has to conform to your mind. So, science says a lot of things, and then science changes its opinion. Like there was a time, uh, this this is the very very popular example. There was a time where the big minds thought the earth was flat, and then we figured out that science and the genius minds were wrong. So same happens with stuff like this. It's just that they don't know how to cure it. It doesn't mean it can't be cured. That's what I believe. I genuinely believe that when a doctor says something can't be cured, it's because they don't know how to do it, not that it can't be. So therefore, you go inside your imagination, you imagine that person either completely healthy or healing. Imagine, affirm, whatever you do. If a gay boy loves a straight boy and straight boy doesn't love gay boy and also has a girlfriend, then will gay boy manifest loving romantic relationship with straight boy in 3D? If yes, then what about free will? There is no free will. What free will? Everyone is you pushed out, and everyone's different versions exist for you to choose in your mind. So whatever story you persist in will manifest. I notice when I robotically affirm, images come up naturally in my mind. Is that impressing? So instead of trying to create imaginary acts in meditation, do you think robotically affirming will impress? So I always say I am not really a big fan of robotic affirming, and I'm starting to think that when I say robotic affirming, I probably don't mean the same thing as other people when they say robotic affirming, because that happens to me when I'm affirming focused. If by robotically affirming you mean on a loop, then that's not what I mean when I say robotically affirm. When I say robotic affirming, and I don't like that, I don't recommend that, it's that mindless affirming where your affirmations is in the background and your mind is actually focused on something else. It's like your attention is diluted. I like to affirm focused, even though it's on a loop. One affirmation can be on a loop for several minutes, focused. That I prefer that, and I recommend that. And yes, images do come up because your mind thinks in images, it thinks in feelings. You can affirm in different languages, and the same images will pop up. So that is the way your mind operates. But impressing the subconscious mind is when you have done the work, such as this, so much that it starts accepting that as true. Impressing is not exactly a technique, it's the aftermath of having done the technique or techniques. It's when your story naturally starts changing. It's when your new story starts feeling natural, and um, yeah, it's when your mind accepts it and resistance is gone. It feels like you have it. That is when the mind is impressed. And the process of impressing is the process of repeating, for example, repeating anything, affirmations, imaginal acts, or stuff like this. This is really good. It's good. Keep doing it. Oh, are the lectures in another book? I have the blue one. I don't know the blue one very well. I know it's very popular. It's about Neville Goddard's collection, but it's the books. It may have a couple of lectures in it. I don't remember how many books are in there, but I have not found a collection of the lectures. If anyone knows, I would be happy to, but he literally has a million lectures. I don't know if anyone can do a collection, maybe a trilogy or something like that. But there are many, many lectures that are sold in as a book, but they are like smaller books. I wanted a real winter, so we just had the coldest and longest winter in 20 years. I have also manifested weather specific stuff, both sunny and snow, very, very fun manifestations. Hi, Anna. How do I manifest complete change in my career and money situation while dealing with the current stressful job? Separate the two. I have recently made a video. It's the one called 3D Life versus 4D Mind, where I talk about situations like this. You have a 3D life you have to deal with. That's what you do. But you also manifest something different. Your 3D life is the physical situation. Your manifestations happen in the mind. So you are going to be in different realities, two different realities at the same time for a period. So what you do is you take care of your job, you do your job, but when you are in your mind, you don't dwell on your job. You dwell on being in a different situation, having your career, the money, etc. Separate the two. How can I help someone not to wait for his text message and I'm not sure I understand this question. Something about free will. How can I make him believe it? Oh, you never make the other person believe it. The only person you need to make believe is yourself. The other person conforms whatever you are manifesting, a text message or whatever it is. When you are manifesting, you are working with your mind, not their mind. They are going to conform. They are the mirror. They will show you what your mind contains, but you're working with yourself regardless of what you're manifesting. To get over self-judgment, maybe I honor my desire and my truth. Yes, for example, I love myself, I accept my desires, I accept myself, I have the right to have my desires. I want to have a job 10, I don't know how to pronounce that, per month, but I feel such job doesn't exist, or I need to have more skills. Please help on this. The way your mind works is not the way we operate in the 3D. Your mind, whatever is manifesting in the 3D, it's your mind manifesting it, and your mind doesn't care about skills, experience, whatever. Your mind cares about what you focus on. So what I would do here, start at the end. Your end goal is to have that kind of job and that kind of money. In your mind, you tell yourself or you imagine that you already have that. You persist in that. And if you need to have the skills and whatever else, you will be guided to do things where you gain the skills. This is not your job to figure out. Your job is to stay in the end and persist that you have the job. Or change this whole story that this job doesn't exist. This is also an assumption. Of course it exists. You just don't know yet, which is fine. But tell yourself that, yes, of course that kind of job exists. And I can have it. Hello. Hi there. After a long no contact and he wasn't opening my messages even, him seeing my messages is still a movement. Thanks for your answer. I would say so. Whatever happens in 3D, we give meaning to it. And it means we assume something about it. Your assumptions, the assumptions that you make about the things that happen in the 3D, come from your current beliefs. So I always recommend that, regardless of what your current beliefs are, when something is happening in the 3D, never make an assumption that is not favorable for your manifestation. Even if you jump to conclusions like that, stop yourself and tell yourself, like, no, this is actually a movement. Yes, of course it is a movement. And my manifestation is coming, my manifestation is here. And affirm whatever it is that you are affirming about that person. He's in love with you, whatever you're affirming. But yeah, I would take this as movement. But don't get too fixated on movement and signs and stuff like that, because you end up manifesting that, and you also don't want that. You don't want to, I mean, I'm not the one to tell you what you want, but hear me out. You don't want to manifest movement. Movement is great. It's encouraging, it's wonderful, it's fun. But you want your manifestation, the full manifestation. So whatever happens, it's movement, it's wonderful. Keep going to the end. Imagine how powerful we would be if we didn't know or clock our age or birthday. I feel like aging and death is a slow program that rolls automatically in our mind until interrupted and replaced. I think so too. Joseph Murphy talks about this. Actually, he has a lecture called The Fallacy of Old Age, where I don't remember him to go into it very deeply, but he talks a lot about this idea that when we get older, we need to get sick. You know, everybody gets sick and has pain and aches when they get old. This is old assumptions. Your body doesn't know how old it is unless you tell it. So, and I also feel like it's a program. And a lot of stuff, a lot of things that are being sold as biology is a program. This is a topic for a different video, or a different video, different time. But yeah, definitely. If you like reading books about this topic, no, not about this topic, but this is included somewhere in that book. Yogananda's Autobiography of a Yogi. Amazing book, complete mind-bending, crazy book. And if you're interested in stuff like that, I highly recommend it. Has anybody read that book? I have mentioned it before, and I know some of you have. Some of you have read that. Oh, I meant focused affirming then, not robotically. Thanks for clarifying that. I've been focused affirming, not robotically. That is good. Your focus and your attention is very powerful, because when you affirm with focus, it changes your state. You feel different. It feels nice. After very little affirming, after very little repetition. So keep doing that. Thank you, Anna. You're welcome. Oh, Monica Kitty. What is the easiest way to recreate SP if you can't visualize? And what's the point of free will if creation is finished? There is no free will. There is no free will. The fallacy of free will. The easiest way to recreate your SP if you can't visualize is affirm. You can think thoughts. Affirm they are the way you want them to be. And creation is exactly like, what's the point of free will if creation is finished? And creation is finished, so there's no free will. You choose one version or you choose a different version. The way you choose is what you focus on. And you focus on your thoughts, your imaginal acts, inner conversations, all these things we do in our mind. So affirm and tell the story. You can use self-talk, not just, you can either use a few affirmations on repeat or you can tell the whole story to yourself. Thank you a lot, Anna. I always love your videos, amazing explainings, and always, as always, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Can I change a person's sexual orientation? Meaning converting a boy from straight to gay, even if the straight boy has a girlfriend. Does law of assumption work only for straight people? No. And not if I'm gay and SP straight. No. The law of assumption doesn't really care about your sexuality or your SP's sexuality. It's about what you focus on. So can you imagine this person to be with you? Then yes, it's the same. I know that this can sound crazy. I get it, because we're not used to it, because, but back to what I was saying earlier, creation is finished and there's no free will. People are you pushed out. And if you keep manifesting that that person is with you, that version exists. It exists. You're not manifesting anything from scratch, or you're not creating anything from scratch. You're manifesting a possibility that already exists. All you need to do is change your story the way you change your story when you are manifesting anything else. Really like your eye makeup. Thank you. I have moments with makeup. In most of my videos, I don't wear makeup at all, but then I have a moment where I want to wear makeup. It's like on and off, but thank you. My SP is bisexual, but I want her to only be into women / me. Then you affirm she is. End of story. What is list method to manifest SP? List method. What is list method? I think it's list method. I think it's where you write your affirmations once and you make a list of different affirmations and you leave it. It's good for manifesting smaller things, but if you try, like, it can't harm in any way. But if you have a persistent opposing story, I would recommend to persist in your assumption. New story. Please try straight hair once. I have actually. My hair is so long. It's because it's curly that it curls up like that. It's just too much work. But I will see if I can do that for a video once. After my self-concept, a new guy, my ex-crush, everyone flirting with me. I want SP. This is normal. It happens a lot. The reason it happens is that when your assumptions start to sink in, manifestation starts to come in wherever there's no resistance. So you have no resistance to these people. I recommend keep um, keep persisting, because I would take this as movement, to be honest. Again, don't get fixated on the movement, but just know that something is happening in your mind. Like my ex-crush begging to be with me. He used to be too egoistic to beg even to talk. There you go. Everyone is pushed out. They have no choice but to conform. And currently, I'm guessing you had no resistance to this ex. So, and everyone has to conform to your self concept. This is why I preach self concept. I work on self concept with, I think, all my clients, every single one. It has happened very rarely that I haven't worked on self concept, because the limiting beliefs we have about the specific things mostly come from self concept and generic assumptions. And when you work on self concept, everyone has to conform to that. Everyone and every situation, to be honest. So self concept is great. My last video is on self concept, about the one about the relationships, the very last one I posted. Yeah, and I know it's all about resistance, to be honest, because I could even manifest my mom to do something very unusual to her, very unusual for her. But SP, he's pissing me off. Don't get pissed off. He's you pushed out. He has no choice. So you keep persisting. All this is movement. So great job. Keep going. I did react, and he said hurtful things, and he didn't spend the day with me, and made a point to tell me he took third party out. What assumptions could I have? The simple assumption that he has chosen someone else over you, or I mean, I can't guess from this, from your comment, what other stuff that there can be. But even if you didn't know your assumptions, you can still manifest, because all you need to do is to focus that he's with you, to whatever you're doing, affirming, visualizing, inner conversations, etc. There is no third party, or third party is gone. He is now with you. The important part here is to not focus on this, because it doesn't matter what he said. He didn't say that. No, he didn't say that. He said something else. He said he wants you, etc. That's the story you tell yourself. My brother is gay, and this was his question, because he became upset that his love interest is straight. So he was crying that he can't get him completely because he's straight. It depends on what you focus on. All manifestations work the same way. So this story needs to change for the 3D to change, because your subconscious mind, which is the part of your mind that is manifesting, executing the orders that you give. So it needs to, you need to give it the order, which is the story that you want to experience, and persist in that instead of what is happening in the 3D. So trying to manifest commitment with SP. Should I imagine him asking me to be his girlfriend? He recently said he told he pretended to be single when his boss asked him his status to hook him up with her friend. If whether you should imagine him asking you to be his girlfriend, you can start there. That's a step. You can manifest in steps, or you can go to the very end where you affirm that he's committed to you. You are his girlfriend. I was happy for a second, but then got upset. He pretended to be single to see who she wanted to hook him up with. When he saw I was upset, he wanted to take it all back. Um, Revise it. Revise this situation. That's not what happened. What happened was that, I don't know, he told his boss that he has you as his girlfriend. You can revise that. Otherwise, stay in the end where you affirm he is committed to you, or he asked you to commit to him. But that's a step. Again, remember that that's a step. When you manifest that, you need to manifest the next step again. When I was manifesting my SP, things started to fall apart first, or showed opposite of my desire. I reacted and I stopped manifesting. I'm getting only partial manifestation. Yeah, that reaction is your old self. If you can stop the reaction as it's happening and change the story in the moment, that's the best way, the quickest way to flip things. Otherwise, even if you reacted, you had your moment, afterwards go back to your manifestation. Partial manifestations is, it's just your manifestation. It's just that your manifestation hasn't happened fully and you stop halfway. Keep going. Thank you, Anna. You're welcome. Guys, I am about to wrap this up, but I'm going to wait to see if you have other questions. Want to finish everything? Have you seen, I think, the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once? Never even heard about this. I'm guessing it's some manifestation related movie. There are so many of those, by the way. I love those movies. But no, I will look it up. Thank you. During no contact, should I manifest that he misses me, or should I manifest that we are back in contact? It completely depends on what you want. You should manifest what you want out of the situation. Thank you. Good night. Good night, Monica. Thank you for being here. Crazy movie. Now I have to watch it. What is this? Everything, everywhere, all at once. Have you guys seen the movie Coherence? I think it's called Coherence. Very fascinating. Also, very much manifestation related. It doesn't teach you how to manifest, but very interesting. Very interesting take on realities. I mean, does saying that he misses me imply that we aren't in contact? It sort of does. Um, or can I say he reached out to me because he missed me? Yeah, better, better. I mean, you can start. If something creates too much resistance, you can always start. He misses me. He thinks about me, etc. Otherwise, yeah, he reached out because he missed you. Yeah. What assumptions should I affirm? I always get the relationship I want the way I want it? Because it always seems like we would be together, but something happens and we don't end up together. If you know the exact problem, tackle that and affirm the opposite. But otherwise, you can affirm that we stay together, we end up together and we stay together. Or your affirmation is good. I always get the relationship I want the way I want it. Because why not? Hollywood movie. Interesting. I have been affirming that I am the sun and I am warming up to certain degrees, and then the temperature changes. It's crazy. This reminds me of an experiment they've done, I think in the 80s, where somewhere in Tibet, I think, where they would bring these monks who are very much used to meditating. They bring them to a very, very cold place, a cave, I think, a very cold cave, and they put wet towels or wet linens or something like that on their back. They're sitting in underwear, nothing on, almost nothing on their body, and they put this wet stuff, towels, again, towel linen, on their backs, and they sit and they meditate and they imagine fire inside of them. They heat up their body in minutes to the point where this wet towel completely dries out in minutes. It's crazy what the body can do, what the mind can do, what the mind can make the body do. What I'm talking about, it can be found online, by the way. There has to be a documentary on YouTube about this. Very fascinating. Good night, Anna. Thanks for your answer. Good night, and thank you for being here. Who else has other questions about manifestation? Oh, by the way, guys, I want to mention, completely forgot to mention this earlier. My Master Manifestor mastermind groups are available, and not all groups are available. I have a couple that are available. If you want to start from next month, please send me an email. For those of you who don't know, it's group coaching, consistent group coaching every single week, where I help you stay consistent basically with your manifestation, and we keep solving the problems that come up in your specific situations. It's a live call where we have conversations. It's not like this where I'm talking and you're writing comments. We're talking, and it's coaching. So for anyone who is interested, you can find my booking page in the description and send me an email from my booking page. Can I use different techniques, or should I use only one for one thing? Oh, no, you can use different techniques. You can either use one or you can use several, but don't make it become a chore. Do something that you enjoy doing. So don't force yourself to do all the techniques all at once. If you have several that you enjoy doing, why not? Thank you for tonight. You're welcome, Joanna. Am I pronouncing that right? In Chicago, it was snowing and I didn't want to shovel, so I started to say, I am the sun. I'm going to make the temperature in the 50s. I couldn't believe it. It got to 54. I didn't think it would work. Why can't I make my damn SP to commit as quickly? Your resistance, your own story. This is good. This is a good experience because you realize the power that you're holding in your mind. So your SP can't resist your manifestation. All you need to do is to convince yourself. How much are they? What do you mean? I have a job near my house and I have one who wants me, but I want that one to hold off and the offer letter so I can see how I like by my house. How to do that? I would affirm that this situation solved in my favor the way I wanted it. Or you affirm like literally this, what you have written, just in an affirmation form. Or just affirm that, or you are so grateful that it's solved in this perfect way, the way you want it. How would you change a story about few people? I want to change the version of three people, but it's very time consuming doing techniques for three people. Oh, I have several manifestations all at once, like manifesting different things at once. I have done that for a long time, to be honest. And you just affirm for whichever pops up in your mind, or you make a routine where you affirm for a few minutes for each, a couple of times a day or a few times a day. It doesn't have to be this 24/7 full-time job to manifest even several things. Shauna says her coaching is on her website, but email her. Yeah, exactly. On my website, I think it's on the right side where there's a white button where you can contact me. My email is, by the way, it's also in my YouTube bio. So, how much are the group sessions? They are 159 159 US dollars per month, and you receive 4 group coaching for that every month. It's a weekly coaching, so it's every single week, same day, same hour every week. The payment is per month, though. Do I have to look for a job? I would like to get a job out of thin air. You don't have to do anything in the 3D if you focus your mind. Affirm that you already have the job. You got the job. Check out my playlist on taking action. And also, I have a playlist on how to deal with the 3D. But this is the taking action one. Okay, thank you. I have an interview on Wednesday. Good luck. Affirm that it went the way you wanted it to. I have done this many times, not with interviews, but conversations and stuff that I have had. Before the conversation happened, if it was something important, I would affirm that this conversation went exactly the way I wanted to, or this conversation went so well, or even if it was something problematic, I would affirm that this went so well, this went in my favor, etc. And it always ends up going that way. Sometimes when I'm meditating about something, I finish and then immediately I think of something else and then something else. I envision different scenes for each, but is this bad? Not necessarily. Why? No. The thing that is bad is to imagine the things that you don't want to experience, because your mind is going to think and imagine all day long, unless you are like those Tibetan monks who have trained their mind to be still. Your mind is going to think and imagine stuff. So either you are imagining stuff that you want, or you are imagining stuff that you don't want. do you still think it would work, or should I give each manifestation its full focus? If you have one important thing, it helps to focus just on that. It does. You can manifest different things all at once, several things all at once. I have done that and I have manifested it. But it's just easier to focus when you have one thing. It just for the practical reasons, and your full focus goes on that. So especially if you have an important one, something that is important to you, I recommend that. Yeah. So, okay, guys, thank you for being here with me. I'm going to wrap this up, but stay connected because I will continue posting videos, and I also do continue with these live Q&As. I hadn't done one in more than a month, but there will be more live Q&As in the future. That's what I'm trying to say. So thank you for these exciting, interesting questions. And yeah, happy manifesting. Have a great day, evening, night, wherever you are. Stay connected. If you have any questions, you can drop a comment in the comment section of any of my videos. For anyone who is interested in self-concept, watch my last video about the relationship and relationships. And yeah, I think that's all. Email me if you are interested in the group coaching. And thank you, Anna. You are wonderful. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the compliment. So yeah, see you in my next video or in the next live Q&A. Bye-bye, guys.